Shamaya, you did it.
STL Music.
Is that good? Welcome back to the show. So listen up, we back in the game. Sweep the league, we got the flame. Motivated to the fullest every single day. We wake up, get in every way. Right from the true and the global inspiration. Talk this sports and top news, no hesitation. Sweep the league is back. We always coming back, that's a fact. Wanna tell them that. STL Music, mama, we did it. Where we at? Coach Jill in the house with the flow so tight. Never Rebroadcast, we unite. Yeah, the best show, Monday through Friday. If this ain't different, they lying. We got the energy. When I say sweep, you say the league. Sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. San Antonio.
Hey, it's Rain Fernandez, and you're watching Sweep the League. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and Facebook at Rain Fernandez, Rayne Fernandez.
Hi, it's Sherilyn, and you're watching Sweep the League TV. Follow me on Instagram at official Sherilyn for more content.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
One.
Well, as you guys can tell, Derek Gervin doesn't miss anything. If you don't want to miss anything as well, go to YouTube. Search at Sweep the League TV. Be a subscriber today. We're giving away a bunch of prizes and stuff. Be a subscriber today so you don't miss, just like Derek never misses. Subscribe to Sweep the League. What is going on, everybody? We got next Wednesday. That's what it is. I'm thinking, man, my days are off tonight. I was thinking today was actually Thursday. I was like, yeah, one more day till Friday, then the weekend is here. Rudy Campos Jr. probably going to be joined by Derek Gervin here in just a little bit, as well as Coach Gio. I believe Derek's watching the WNBA Finals game going on between the New York Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx. It's going down to the wire. I know that for a fact. 77-75, 33 seconds left. In that game, in the fourth, it's Liberty on top of the Lynx right now, 77-75. Derek will be joining us here in just a little bit. But nonetheless, we got a whole lot to get into, man. You got last night's comments from the Drew show. He brought up a really good point. We're going to talk about that. Is Pat Riley better than Coach Pop, Red Auerbach, and Phil Jackson? I did some research, so I'm gonna say it's probably gonna surprise the hell out of a lot of you guys, just like I'm surprised right now, as the Big Red Machine is in the studio with us right now. Coach Gio Georgia is in the house, ready for Texas, Georgia, man.
Who let the dogs out, baby? This Saturday, Georgia and Texas, Rudy. It's a big game.
Are you excited for this game in a sense of, is it going to be closer than people think? I think, I don't know what the line is right now.
But what are you hearing? Do you think it's going to be a blowout?
No, I don't hear it's a blowout. But what do you consider a blowout in this game? 10 points?
I wish Georgia was at full strength. I wish this was a Georgia team of 2 years ago, Rudy, with Stenton Bennett and a lot of those guys on that team. This is not that style of team, but I don't know. I'm kind of even keel, Rudy. You could probably hear it in my voice. I'm not super.
You're not excited.
Yeah, I'm not super excited about this game. Obviously, it's a big matchup, right?
Yeah,
it's a power of two wills, but this Georgia team, and we talked about all year. I thought the year we were having this year, we would have last year, Rudy, because we talked about it. We weren't sure about Beck. But it's like the roles are reversed. Last season was a lot better than what I expected. This season going in for year 2 hasn't been what I've hoped, and I'm not super excited about this game because if Georgia doesn't show up, this could get ugly, like it did against Alabama. But I'm sure Kirby will have the team ready to go, and he'll do one of his fiery speeches as he's done to like every game. But man, it's a tough matchup for Georgia, and I've seen what Alabama did to us. Texas is going to try to attack the edge. You saw what Bama did was really just destroy us on the outside. Can Georgia set the edge? Can those guys stay in containment? I'm not sure what to expect, Rudy. I'll be rooting hard for the Dogs, but I know you hear it in my voice. I'm not completely, I guess, thrilled about this matchup, at least for our team that's not going in fully healthy.
You're a little scared. I know you're a little scared. It's okay. It's okay.
There's a little hesitant just because it's not the best Georgia team. If we compare Rudy the last 3 years, it's probably the worst Georgia team going into a big game.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. Let me bring on the Hall of Famer here in a couple of days, actually. Hall of Famer himself, Derek Gervin. Derek, man, welcome back to Sweep the League, brother. Your Hall of Fame right down the road, man.
How you doing, man? How you guys doing? I think my collar's good. How y'all doing, man?
Yeah, collars. What do the kids say? Pop the collar, popping the collar.
Yeah,
Pop the collar.
Closer to popping.
I got it, Mike. Okay, so we got a couple of comments. Michael Air Jordan Hilliard's in here, says the Liberty game's a good game. It's 77 all with 16 seconds left. Another great WNBA final game going down here. The good question. So the question of the night is going to be the pop question. Is Pat Riley a better coach and maybe even better front office guy than Pop, Red Auerbach, and Phil Jackson? I pulled up the receipts, as you children called it. I've got the receipts, so we're going to go over their coaching history here. And he also says 27 plus is a blowout to me. So Texas is only favored by 5, Gio. I don't think it's going to be 27-point win. I don't think it's that. I think, honestly, I think Texas wins 10. I say Texas by 10. I think so. Derek gave me that look like I'm either crazy or
I just don't know what Georgia team is going to show up. I just don't know.
I think
hopefully not the ones that are suspended. What's that, Derek?
I think
Georgia's going to be ready.
They'll be ready, but I mean, you're talking a Texas team that is, tremendous on both sides of the ball.
They what?
They're tremendous on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I know, but most teams, even a team like Texas, can have an off game, right?
Yeah, they can.
So if the other team raises their level and you're not exactly at the same level, isn't that how we get upsets?
Yeah.
I think Georgia's going to be ready. I think Kirby's going to have those guys ready and licking their chops. They got a chance to get back in the race for the national championship, man. I don't think it's going to be as some people might think Texas just because it's Texas. Aren't they going back to yours tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, yours is going to be fine.
Okay, so yours hasn't played when? How long now?
Well, he played against OU in the Red River.
Yeah, okay, but he's been missing some games, right?
Yeah, yes.
So he hasn't got back into full form. So if they're going to be beatable, what time are they beatable? Now or before he gets back in full form again?
I don't know, because, I mean, if he struggles again, you've got Arch. I mean,
yeah, but I'm saying when you have to go through that kind of stuff,
yeah.
Sometimes when the player's been out, it's just like Pittsburgh ready to go through it now. We're going to find out what happens with Russell. And so sometimes a change, you're not the same team you were when they were playing with yours earlier in the season. Now he's got to familiarize himself because some of the things that he does is different than some of the things Arch does.
Yeah.
So now you got to get back and sync as an entire offense. And sometimes that can hurt you when you play a team against Georgia, like Georgia.
And I completely agree with Derek. If there's a game Georgia plays their best game so far this year, I would hope it's against Texas. And I think what's going to happen is Georgia's going to hear all week, You haven't been playing great. Texas is clearly better. This and that. I hope Kirby's able to rally the guys and they come out and just have a fantastic game. They did lose Brian Robinson. One of their other running backs is out this week with the sprained MCL. So I just love that we got so many injuries across the board. But if there's any team that can go into Texas and win,
Hey, Gio, they've only lost how many times in like the last 3 years in the regular season?
I completely agree, which is crazy. Which is crazy to think.
Forget they've only lost once, man. I mean, come on.
No, I know it's, but this is how Kirby set this up, and this is what the fan base is like. Damn, we only lost one game, but this game could be a tough game. But look, Georgia, I hope they come in ways because it's going to be a loud crowd, Rudy. It's going to be loud. It's going to be nuts. Can Georgia keep that crowd at pace?
Well, before we go on to the other topics, because I know Georgia, Texas wasn't on the agenda here, but say Georgia. Okay, I'm going to throw this at both of you guys, mainly Gio here, on that because he's a Georgia guy. He's a Georgia fan. So say Georgia goes into Texas and they lose. That's 2 losses already. Again, we figured 2 losses is okay in the SEC. But knowing that they've got 2 losses, they have a lot of off-field issues. They have injuries. You've still got, Florida, I'm not too worried, but then you got Ole Miss, Tennessee back-to-back. Any chance that a 4-loss possibility Georgia team still makes the playoffs?
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
I just hope we can win a game. But 4-loss team in the post, and look, it's the first year, Rudy, of 12 teams, right? So we're not sure what the committee necessarily. We know what they're going to probably do, but a 4-loss team getting in, it's going to depend on Ole Miss, right? Ole Miss still has some tough matchups ahead of them, and Tennessee. I know they won last week, Rudy, but I picked Florida in the upset, and I wasn't way off.
No, you weren't. That was a good one.
Way off. So it's all going to depend on these other teams and what happens. Utah has fallen off the wagon. They're done. Ohio State, we'll see how they rebound in the next few weeks here. But I don't think a 4-loss team, I just don't see it right now. In a few weeks, we'll see. But a 4-loss Georgia team as a number 12 seed, that's pretty dangerous, Rudy.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you can put a 4-loss SEC team into the playoffs. I really don't. I don't see how you can.
Or a team that loses to Texas and Alabama.
Yeah. I mean, because if they lose to Ole Miss and Tennessee.
If they lose to Texas and Alabama, when you talking about championship, don't they have to win one of those games?
I mean, it'll
not
get
necessarily
them in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean, you got teams like that's coming up the rear that we talked about are going to be 1-loss teams. Georgia, if they will lose both of these, say they were to lose impressively tomorrow, if Texas just kicks their butt, how can you have them in there when you talked about how they played in the first half against Alabama? They look like just a pedestrian team. And then you come out and get smoked by Texas. That's got to set you back some, even if it's Georgia.
Yeah, but if they beat Ole Miss and Tennessee and run the table, and their 2 losses are to the top 5.
Tennessee, I'll go with. Ole Miss, I don't know, because they kind of on the downside lately. They haven't looked great.
Well, yeah, Ole Miss is starting to look, and I don't know if it's because Lane might go to Florida, and there's a lot of rumblings about that. I don't know what's going on there, but Ole Miss is starting to crumble. They can't lose probably again, Ole Miss. I mean, if Georgia loses and they got a shot, maybe, but Ole Miss is probably going to lose to either Georgia or Tennessee. Ole Miss is probably the odd team out. LSU, look, they can make a run.
5-1.
See, I was going to say a team like, what are you talking about? Oh, you talking about Oklahoma State or Ohio State?
Well, LSU. He said LSU.
Yeah, LSU.
Oh, LSU,
Louisiana.
yeah.
Louisiana.
Oh, you guys not giving up on Brian Kelly yet.
I mean, 5-1. Their schedule, the rest of the schedule. There may be 1 loss left in there. So that's what I'm saying, and that's why I brought it up. Georgia loses to Texas. That's 2 losses already early in the season. And it's a big if they go down 2 more times later on in the schedule, one of them may be Tennessee, maybe, but a slip up here or there at 4 losses. I mean, Then you're talking Texas, Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State. 2 of those will get in there more than likely, maybe 3, but 2 of those at least will get in. Then you've got Miami, who's still undefeated. They'll take the ACC. Alabama, Notre Dame. I mean, Clemson will probably end up getting in. Boise State. I mean, you've got a lot of these. Indiana runs the table, maybe gets 1 loss. You can't forget about Indiana. So there's going to be a lot of 2-loss teams that are going to be in
this year. Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. That 4 loss for Georgia, man. That's.
Oh no! I mean, if they get 4 losses, they would need a lot of help. A bunch of other teams, yeah, would have
4
to lose.
Losses, they're done. I mean, it's gonna be.
I don't see them. Could I see them lose 3? Sure, but 4 or even
4
5.
takes them out all the way.
Yeah,
takes them out. We're going to be somewhere in the Little Caesars Bowl. Somewhere.
Or they're going to be playing in San Antonio.
Yeah. Play San Antonio.
The Fred's Fried Fish Bowl or something like that.
Some random.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, even at 3 losses, I think Georgia still sneaks in. If those 3 losses are to Bama, Texas, and Tennessee, I mean, I think they still get in probably at 10th seed, which is very, very terrifying if you're able to get in at a 10th seed.
That's what I'm saying. A 10th seed Georgia getting in, I don't think no one wants.
Isn't Tennessee playing Saturday? Who is it? Alabama? Who is Tennessee playing?
Let me look it up here. I can look it up.
Not Alabama?
Is it Alabama this week?
They have Alabama this week.
Yeah, I thought so.
So that could potentially give Tennessee 2 losses, which then makes that Georgia game.
Hold on, sir.
Very difficult.
Or that could give Alabama 2 losses. Remember, I still don't believe. I don't believe in Alabama any more than I really believe in Georgia. Yeah. I think if they were to meet again, Alabama would lose that game. I really believe that.
Man, the SEC, Derek and Gio. Gio always talks about SEC play.
I told everybody.
The big time of it now. We're getting the huge of it.
Texas here. Look, there's going to be times where next year Texas might lose to Kentucky. It could be Texas still got to play Kentucky. That's not going to be no slice of cake, Rudy. We've seen what Kentucky's defense has done. Now, they can't score any points, but
the Bill Miller's Bowl.
So this is SEC football. This is what I have to go through every year. You know, not the Big 12 and playing UCF. And
it's the best conference in the country.
Playing some of these other schools don't play no defense. This conference.
You see, y'all are saying the best conference is the SEC. I will not argue that. I won't argue that. But 3 of the top 4 teams are in the Big 10.
Yeah, right now.
The thing about the Big 10 is it's very easy to coast in that conference because as physical as I think Illinois can be at times, and we saw what Purdue did last week as fun and games, they lost 49-50 by 1 point against Illinois last week, right? Which is a team that couldn't score for weeks. The Big 10 is really good, but I feel like the higher echelon teams nobody coast.
You could take the number 5 team from the SEC, and they might go in and beat the number 1 or 2 team in the Big 10. And I'm a Big 10 guy.
Yeah.
But you could take the 5th team, maybe 6, and on a given day they can go in and beat Oregon or Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, you still get upsets in the Big 10. We saw Purdue beat Ohio State a few years ago. It definitely happens, but I feel like give me the SEC by a little bit here, just simply because Vanderbilt, we saw them beat the number 1 team in the country. If you put the first team in the Big 10, Purdue, as much as they scored last week, they're not beating Oregon or Ohio State.
The SEC is like putting, let me see, Buffalo, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Lions, all of them in the same division. That's how I look at the SEC. On any given year, you're going to have a bunch of teams that are capable of winning it all. And you don't have that in the Big 10. They got Oregon now and USC, but on the average, Michigan or Ohio State is usually what it comes down to, doesn't it?
I told Rudy about Arkansas. I said, Rudy, watch out for Sam Pittman.
Yeah, they've been good all year. Yeah.
And then they just beat Tennessee.
Yeah.
Florida was competitive. They did lose Graham. He's out for the year, I believe.
Yeah.
But you can't sleep Auburn. I'm telling you, Auburn's going to beat someone they're not supposed to sometime this year. Now, they're probably the worst out of the bunch here, just because Hugh Freeze has just been a disaster. They can't find a quarterback, but that's another team. Oklahoma could beat someone they're not supposed to beat this year. That's how good the SEC is. And like I said, Rudy, Kentucky, don't sleep on them because they can play. And Texas is going to have their hands full whenever they play them this year.
Rudy, it's time to get with it because I know Victor Wembanyama was a little upset last night. Did you see that?
I didn't see the game, but I did see the play where Harrison
right?
Barnes missed him on a lob there.
Doesn't that remind you of last year?
Yeah, not starting off very good, especially when ESPN comes out. Does ESPN listen to us when we keep telling everybody?
I told you they do a long time ago.
I mean, they've got to be listening to us because they came out today and said we give the Spurs 1% chance of making the playoffs. Hell, 1%. That's 1% more than I gave the Spurs to make the playoffs. I mean, if we're being honest, man. That's
look, man, Harrison Barnes is so I know it's preseason, but isn't Harrison Barnes averaging like 6 points?
Yeah.
Shooting like 31% or something, like 18% from three.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And, I was on Locked On Spurs with our good friend Jeff Garcia today. We're going to have him on this week. I'm talking to him in a little bit here about getting him on, but we spotlighted Keldon Johnson. And I had, the question was, what was one thing you would like to see Keldon improve on? Me, it was the aggressiveness on the defensive side, just, being really aggressive, just getting after the ball. Offensively, just his court awareness. I think, losing all that weight, the jump shot, he'll be able to develop a better jumper losing all that weight, but court awareness on the offensive side. But I posed a question to Jeff. So before we go into the Pop and Pat Riley talk and then some other NBA talk here, I posed a question. And I know, Derek, you and I have always said that Devin Vassell is the second best player on the team, but is it a stretch to call Keldon the second best player on this team? And I said that I think you can because you and I know the best ability in the NBA is availability. Devin's been hurt. He's had one season, I believe that was, a full season. Well, Keldon averaged 22 points a game a couple of years back. It dipped to 15 last year. Now, yeah, the addition of Victor Wembanyama hurts, because you're not going to get as many shots off. That year, Devin was very injured. I think he played like 30 games that year. So Keldon was the man. But, with then him not starting, minutes, gone down. But if you look at efficiency, Keldon pretty much is equal if you're putting minutes with Devin. And I asked Jeff, is it a stretch to call Keldon the second best player on this team?
It's a little stretch. I told you sitting in the studio a couple of years ago, I believe. How long has it been now? We were sitting there, and I told you that Devin was the guy that I saw. If I had to pick between those two guys, and we know injuries can change that, but if you just go as far as playing pop style of basketball, Devin is the guy that can get it off the dribble more so than Keldon. And he can shoot off the dribble and he can shoot the three. I think he shoots from more spots on the floor, if you're talking about long range, than Keldon does. Keldon's more of a three-point shooter from the corner.
Yeah.
And, he worked on putting his arc on the shot. He shoots it a lot higher. But Devin is the guy that I think helps the most because his ability to get to the rim and to go off the dribble more so than Keldon. Usually when Keldon goes to the basket, it's to score. Like you said, court awareness. When Devin goes, Devin could either score or he is not a bad passer. And I think that makes their team adds another dimension to their team. So I would take Devin. I would say Devin is a little more versatile than Keldon.
There you go. Joe, you got any input on that if it's a stretch?
A bit of a stretch. I do like the fact, though, he's coming to camp in shape, right? He looked like he's ready to go. He looks focused. But I got to go towards the route of Derek. I just think the versatility. And I think, to me, the peak of the offense is definitely Devin for the level. I mean, for the most part, I just feel like he can go off for 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could go off for 40. I just don't necessarily see Keldon, especially now with Victor there, going off particularly. But hey, he's improving. His defense, his 3-point shooting should be improving. He should look like a much better, and it's possible he could average 20 if they can get 20 a game from him and Devin.
Well, I mean, then you're talking a really good Spurs team.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're asking 20 from Keldon, 20 from Devin, and 20 from Victor. That's asking a lot, man. That's asking a whole lot.
It is, but if he's looking to make that next step, right?
Yeah.
He's put all this work in the offseason. It's not like Ben Simmons posting up all those photos and videos.
Not to play tonight as well.
Yeah. Well,
look at Tim, Rudy. Tim, can I say it quickly, Rudy?
Yeah, Elliot
Perry with the goggles, okay? Quick left-handed, can go up very quick. Can get his little kick his leg jump shot. I mean, yeah, I could describe him, and very versatile player offensively. Plays hard on defense. A good player. I mean, a guy that can score for you off the bench. Then you got Sam Mack, who's more of a hard-nosed guy, who I look at as being kind of like a Mario Illy, but he doesn't have the range for Mario as more far as shooting that set shot three. Sam is a guy who mostly plays in the mid-range area and can get to the basket. Strong guy, but I just broke down for you Elliot Perry and Sam Mack.
And also Ray Dean's asking about Lakers. If you guys got NBA questions, you can drop them tonight. We're covering some NBA talk right now. Do the Lakers need a center? We'll go to Gio and Derek on that. Dwight Howard. He told Jeannie Buss that he's ready to come back and he would like to.
I wish Denver would pick him up, to be honest with you.
That would be a good move by Denver. I think
with Denver, it makes them a much more formidable team because we know Michael Porter. I think he'll be refreshed this year. Because you remember Michael Porter was going through a lot during the playoffs with both his brothers having situations. So I think he'll be clear-headed. But if you look at their team, other than Jokic, I mean, who did they have? DeAndre Jordan?
I was going to say DeAndre.
Yeah,
is DeAndre
so he's
still
up
there?
in age. So, I think Dwight is a team. And plus, Jokic wouldn't have to worry about the guy who probably guards him better than anyone else. Better to have him on your team, right?
Dwight, isn't he doing Dancing with the Stars? Or isn't he doing...
Dwight, he was doing pretty good on there, man. I have to be honest, he was doing all right.
I don't know if he's
I don't think Julie is. I think he's not eliminated yet. Dwight Howard.
So you mean to tell me I don't watch Dancing with the Stars? He's
I've
really
been seeing.
on.
I've been seeing clips of Dancing with
pretty
the Stars.
Good. He's been doing pretty good. They're not just giving it to him. He's not doing too bad.
Listen, the Lakers can use all they can get. Okay, they need bodies. I mean, not Bronny James, but they need anybody.
You think so, Gio? Because I think they're going to be okay with. I think Dalton Connect is going to get a chance to contribute this year.
Yeah,
I think with him and Austin Reeves, man, I think they're going to surprise some people. Jared Vanderbilt will be back healthy. Archer Muir looks like he came in. He's in pretty good shape. I think they're not going to be too bad. The question is, what happens if Anthony Davis were to go down?
Which he will, Derek.
He
had a healthy year last year.
I just don't think Jackson Hayes doesn't fit their style of play. So
they
I
could
think
use
they
another
need to bring in a veteran center who can
they
rebound or alter shots, and that's Dwight.
Yeah, if they want to make a run, if they want to be where they want to be, which that's a big word because I don't think they're going to really do much if they get to the postseason. But adding another big in that mix when you know this guy gets hurt a lot normally, you might as well go out there and get another big. It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, he's saying AR13, AD, and Dalton equals 56 wins. I don't know about 56. Possibility might be, but
is LeBron playing every game?
Wait a minute, Ray. You talking about the Lakers going 56 and 26?
Yeah, I'd say.
Where are you right now, 56. Ray? Are you in?
That's pretty high there, Ray.
Where are you, La Margarita or La? Where are you, La Fogata?
I don't know.
Not 56 and 26. I can't see that.
The thing. Look, when it comes to the Lakers, I want to say one thing about the Lakers here. He's saying yes. Then James is saying more like 36 wins. I think the Lakers get to 40 something. They'll be at 40 something wins. I don't think they're going to be lower than 40. I probably put them at 41,
45 and
42.
37
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Fighting for one of those play-in spots again.
Yeah, I would say that. So I think James, I think, is a little underrating them. I got about 42, 43 wins for the Lakers this year.
Spurs, I can see you saying 36, and that's maximum.
Oh my
36
God,
for the Spurs.
that is we should do a parade to get to 36 wins here in San Antonio. I'm just saying, don't get mad at me, Spurs fans. I'm just saying, I got him at 30 wins. So that's what I got him at. And that's the low 28. High 32.
Rudy, that's still improvement.
It is. I mean,
30 is 8-game improvement. How many teams improve 8 games?
Not very many. Not very many. So I would say that's a hell of a move up the standings there for the Spurs if they get another 8 wins. But my thing is this, guys. I'm not going to go through the stats because the stats are just terrible. But Bronny James in the preseason, I know. I'm just going to say it. If it's any other player, this guy's cut. He's let go. But because he has a guaranteed contract, because of his last name, he's going to be on the roster. But any other player in the league, if you're doing that, you got 4 points the entire preseason? I mean,
you got 3 blocks. Come on.
Well, 3 blocks, Derek. Okay. But if you add all the stats, does he even hit double
Derek,
digits?
you gonna do that?
I don't even know if he hits double digits if you had all the stats together.
You know how I feel, Rudy. I told you, I just feel sorry, and I'm laughing, acting silly. But remember, we talk about mental health, man. I really worry about this because Bronny's kind of been set up for failure. He's not the player that people want him to be. I don't believe he'll ever be. And people out in society could be really cruel. Or social media, those sites, when you go out into your daily life. And I think people are going to be hard on Bronny, man. I mean, we talked about guys being a bust, but we usually talk about the first pick, guys like Anthony Bennett and players like that. But when you have a player like LeBron who really hasn't proven himself, Bronny, and then you still give him an automatic roster spot, a lot of people are going to get upset about that. And they're going to be ready to ridicule you. And I just wonder about that. Has LeBron thought about both sides? Because this is going to backfire. I don't see Bronny being an NBA player. I think he should have to go to the G League, and we can see if in a few years he'll be an NBA level type player. But right now, I just don't see it.
5.9 million, a guarantee.
Yeah, but we know why though. Rudy said if it was anyone else, Rudy, they never would have made it out of training camp.
No, they would have been cut by now if they're playing that bad. They would have been cut. I mean, it's the last name, man. It's like I told you. It's the first time a father-son play together on the court at the same time in a regular season game. That's all it is to start the year.
This is how bad it is. Did you see the highlight against Golden State at the end of the game?
Yeah, I did.
When they're showing you driving to the basket, making a layup that millions of other people. We get Gio a couple of days to go in there and get his legs under him, and he drives to the basket and make a layup. When they're showing that, and that's a big deal, that's a problem. Yeah. And he used the wrong.
It's crazy to think that his teammate at USC, was it Boogie Ellis, whatever, went undrafted. He averaged 16 points a game.
Yeah.
The man goes undrafted, but his teammate, who doesn't play, gets drafted and has a $5.9 million deal. I think Ellis is with the Kings, if I'm not mistaken now. But it's just
Bronny doesn't need the money. So it's like that's what I don't get. It's being force-fed to us to, he's LeBron's son, he's gonna play, he's got a guaranteed spot, didn't deserve a guaranteed spot, didn't deserve a guaranted contract. It's all for marketing and all that kind of purpose.
Hey, Rudy, you know what? Can I say this, though? I honestly believe that LeBron believes his son is going to be a very good player. You know why? Because you have a child, and there's so many people out here that have children, and we're talking about children in the sports world, right?
Yeah.
A lot of parents refuse to be honest about the situation. They have kids that they know are never going to play on a high level, but they treat those kids, they talk about them like their child is getting ready to be the next coming of Cooper Flagg, Anthony Edwards, whoever it may be. When in reality, they see that their child doesn't have it. But do they say that? No. And I can kind of understand where LeBron feels. That's his son. That's LeBron Jr. You might see something in him that that we don't see. And sometimes, as a parent, you can not be realistic. You can be honest. Everybody wants to see their kid as a good kid, even though they do things that show they're just the opposite. But how many parents admit that? And it's the same in the sports world.
Yeah, I'm just proud that my daughter gets to play. I mean, I'm not expecting much from her, anything professional wise, but I mean, she gets.
People want to bring up Giannis's brother. I forgot the name of
the Nasus.
But if you go look at, he played in Europe,
in the Olympics. He
played in the deal. I mean, listen, he actually has something. You know what I'm saying? He has something to actually offer. This situation, I think, is very different because clearly he shouldn't be playing in the NBA, at least not right now. Send him to the D League. People love bringing up Giannis's brother. I get it, but this is a bit different situation. At least he played overseas. He actually proved that he could actually be an NBA player.
People hey, Rudy, don't you think that the Nasus guy kind of got people off him in the Olympics?
Yeah,
he played pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where everybody talks about him like he's a towel waver and the guy that keeps Giannis under control, but he actually played pretty good in the Olympics, and I got to at least give him credit for that.
Hey, sometimes, Olympic ball, I mean, that's FIBA basketball benefits you where NBA basketball doesn't. I mean, we've seen that many times. You're a better international player than you are an NBA player. It happens. I mean, we can't fault Thanasis for that at all, but you are right. I mean, Bronny was never one of the highest rated high school guys coming out. Didn't do anything. And now I have a lot of people always come to me, well, what about the heart problem at USC? I'll give him okay. I'll give you that. The heart issues at the beginning, but when he did have the playing time, he didn't do anything with it. He was not, any type of prospect. It's a case of where you should have probably stayed another year in college.
But when
it would have benefited you a whole lot more.
He could also went to college and maybe get a degree. I don't know. I mean, the NBA isn't for everybody. I mean, we've seen guys come and go. We've seen guys like what's his name? He's come to the NBA several times, but he's white.
Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah, it was the same, right? Yeah. So, hey, sometimes it doesn't work out here. Try going overseas. They threaten teams saying, hey, if you draft him, he's going overseas. That's a good thing. You should have kept that. Let him go overseas and let him play or go to another college basketball team. But to give this kid $5 million, I get it. That's your son, but dude, he can't play right now.
Right now, and Bronny we might be talking about Bryce before Bronny scores 10 points in the NBA.
And Bryce isn't that great of a player either. But
I agree.
I think he's better than Bronny, though. I'll be honest with you. He's better than Bronny.
Yeah, he doesn't. Bronny plays defense, they keep saying.
I will give him credit.
But it was preseason. Right?
He does play defense. We saw it in the summer league. We're seeing it a little bit in preseason. He plays defense, but I mean,
he's not playing it on Ja Morant and Dame Lillard and those guys. A little different than playing against the Tyler Kolek and then playing against Jalen Brunson.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying here. So when we get back, we'll take a commercial break. When we get back, we'll get into our Pat Riley discussion. The Drew Show dropped it yesterday. We want to get into that. Just a quick update. The WNBA Game 2 Finals is over. Liberty defeated the Minnesota Lynx 80-77. Liberty up 2-1 on the Minnesota Lynx. But when we come back, we're going to talk of the big topic we were talking about yesterday. Pat Riley, better than Coach Pop, better than Red Auerbach, better than Phil Jackson.
Woo!
Man, it's funny. I did some of the research, and I'm gonna clap for the Drew Show because he might have been onto something there.
Before you go to commercial, because let's go right after I ask you this. So it sounds like Mr. Jordan Hilliard, who I call Turtle, former student at George Gervin, sounds like he's saying Pat Riley is the greatest coach in the NBA history. But I'll leave it until we come back.
We'll have everybody debate it here when we get back. Sweep the League, Rudy Campos Jr., Hall of Famer Derek Gervin, and future Hall of Famer Coach Gio. We'll be back in just a little bit. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting. Building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Welcome to the Lean Left, Lean Right podcast, where spirited debates and open discussions reign supreme. Join hosts Rudy and Shemaya as they dive headfirst into the hottest topics in politics and beyond. They're all about seeking common ground without losing their passion for their perspectives. If you're ready for real talk and honest opinions, subscribe now and join the conversation.
I just want to say hello to everyone, and I want to thank all my UTSA brethren. That starts with my coaches, my teammates, and the people that made it happen. Miss Lynn Hickey, of course, Don Eddy, Neville Shedd, Larry Gatewood, and Terry Morris. I want to thank you guys for getting me towards my path. And, of course, I got to give my guys some love, all my UTSA teammates, especially Ike Thornton. Without Ike, I don't know if I'd even made it 3 years. So he was the guy that kind of kept me grounded. So I just want to give a shout out to all my people and say, UTSA Road Runners.
Ever wondered what regret smells like? Meet Interception by Dak Prescott. Tired of scoring all the time? Us too. That's why we created Interception. For those men who don't want to score tonight. With notes of missed opportunities and a hint of maybe next time, Interception is the perfect scent for the guy who prefers the friend zone. So, take a break from winning and spritz on some Interception. Because sometimes it's okay to drop the ball.
2, 1.
Well, as you guys can tell, Derek Gervin doesn't miss anything. If you don't want to miss anything as well, go to YouTube. Search at Sweep the League TV. Be a subscriber today. We're giving away a bunch of prizes and stuff. Be a subscriber today so you don't miss, just like Derek never misses. Subscribe to Sweep the League.
For the ones who doubted, now we showing the proof. Came from the struggle, we living the truth.
STL Music.
Yeah, challenges come, but we here to stay. Built from the dirt, now we paved the way. Had a bad day, but this life ain't bad.
All right, guys, welcome back to Sweep the League. Hall of Famer, and Tim gets on my ass every single day, so it's Detroit and UTSA Hall of Famer Derek Gervin. What do you want me to say? Coach Gio in the house, Rudy Campos Jr. Sure to check out the Lean Left, Lean Right podcast, also the Best Boys podcast. If you're a big-time hockey guy, check out the Best Boys podcast. They're part of the I Am Refocused Network radio network. Also, like I said, the Lean Left, Lean Right podcast is part of the I Am Refocused network as well. And for those of you that saw the commercials, MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. And go get your Interception cologne by Dak Prescott for you guys that don't want to score and want to be in the friend zone. Go get your Dak Prescott cologne. Interception is what
I knew I should have sent you that, man.
Well, we had to make it into a commercial. So,
well, I mean, that's gone around over the years, Rudy, because I swear I've seen that photo in passing at least for the last 4 or 5 years.
With the cologne,
yeah. It's always funny when I just see him. Actually, my girlfriend showed me. I just kind of said this is freaking hilarious.
They couldn't show it last year because he was second in the league in MVP voting. They saved it for again this year.
Well, it's crazy because Shemaya wrote a rap for it, so we're gonna play the rap edition for the Cologne interception by Dak Prescott. Again, for those of y'all that don't want to score, for those men that don't want to score, go get interception.
Hey, Rudy. On a serious note, when you went to break, I've been talking to my woman about this Pat Riley and Pop thing, man.
It's a tough debate.
It's
a super tough debate, and I'm trying to I'm bringing everything that I can out here. So let's get into it here. So we're talking, who was it? Hilliard loves it. Interception, Cologne, ha ha. I'm glad you guys like the commercial. That's going to be a commercial on the show here for a little while. We're going to do more funny commercials like that for all you guys out there. But so Drew said basically Pat Riley last night. He was on the show and he commented, says Pat Riley way better than Coach Pop, way better, hands down. And he even said he's even better than Red Auerbach and Phil Jackson. So I'm like, I'm thinking at the moment you're like, Pat Riley? No, I mean, Pop, all-time winningest coach, Red Auerbach and Phil Jackson, most titles in, NBA history coaching wise. I mean, there's no way Pat Riley can do that. Well, we beg to differ. Because let's go over Pat Riley or Phil Jackson first. Now, Phil Jackson, 11-time NBA champion. He's been 1-time coach of the year, voted as a top 10 coach, top 15 coach in the NBA, 4-time NBA All-Star head coach. So that's Phil. Now let's go to Red. 9-time NBA champion, second most. He's been the NBA Coach of the Year once. Coached the All-Star game 11 times. Now he's also top 10, top 15 coach all time in the NBA. Now the one thing that he does have is he's a 7-time NBA champion as an executive and an executive of the year. That's Red Auerbach. Now Coach Pop, 5-time NBA champion. 3-time NBA Coach of the Year, 4-time All-Star Game head coach, only voted a top 15 coach in NBA history, not voted top 10. Now for the man of the hour, Pat Riley, 5-time NBA champion, 3-time NBA Coach of the Year, 9-time NBA All-Star Game head coach, top 10 coach voted in NBA history, top 15 coach voted in NBA history, an NBA champion as an assistant coach back in 1980, 2-time NBA champion as an executive, and a 1-time executive of the year. Putting up resumes, I think Drew Show's right. I would probably put Pat Riley ahead of all 4 of those guys.
But we're talking about coaching, right? Are we talking about
success over multiple teams? So, I mean, Red's Red. I mean, that was Boston. Pop is Pop. That's San Antonio. But what Pat was to do for the Lakers, the Heat, the Knicks, I mean, I almost have to agree with Drew. I really do. When you look at everything, I can't argue with him on that fact. I mean, do I agree with him? I don't agree with him so much. But I will say he's got a legit argument there. He really does.
Yeah. Go ahead, Gio.
Well, look, Popovich, I'm going to defend my guy here because does Pop not have the all-time winningest or the most wins as a head coach?
He does.
Best winning percentage, I bet you.
The best winning percentage.
Yeah.
And can we say out of Pat Riley with the Showtime Lakers, I mean, and Derek knows that team was so stacked. And I'm not saying Pat was not part of that because he was the facility head coach. But I mean, come on, man.
You got Magic.
He had Magic. James
Worthy, you can't fault Pat for having a team like that. Like you can't fault Pop for having the teams that he had.
The Lakers should have never had even Worthy, but that freaking draft and how that stuff was set up back then was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Go look at the
Get
talent.
James Worthy on the phone. I know we got
those-
his number somewhere.
Of those teams were very impressive. And look, the Knicks didn't get, they didn't win it. They got there. And the Miami Heat, look, as a coach at least, he didn't happen until what, 2006? He was there for quite some time in Miami. Obviously, he's building that up, and he obviously had Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal, whatever was left of him at the end there. Yeah. But what Pop did was very impressive with one. I mean, Tim Duncan was kind of the main guy of that. He obviously had talented players, Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. But to win championships in 3 different eras, as Pat did as well, but with one team and a small market team. It wasn't the Lakers. It wasn't the New York Knicks, right? The Miami Heat are probably a medium-sized market at this point, but Spurs were a small market team, Derek. And to win 5 championships with that market, and there's no disrespect to San Antonio, but there's not free agents flying over there. They're flying there now because of what we got in Victor Wembanyama. But what Pop did and the coaching style, he was hard on his players. Pat's great, but what Popovich did with one team, as hard as that is, with just one team, his entire career to win 5 championships in 3 different eras, I think that is remarkable as his own stuff. Now for Phil Jackson, Phil's great now. He was a great balancer of people.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can pop Gio's pop balloon here, his Popovich balloon, because one thing I can say is Pop has had 6 losing seasons, as where Pat has only had 2 in their entire careers. So, I mean, if that makes any difference towards your argument, I mean,
Pop had Avery Johnson, who, no disrespect, but Pat Riley had Magic Johnson, Bob McAdoo,
come on, Rudy,
Michael Thompson. I mean, Norm Nixon, Jamal.
If we're going to
Wills.
nitpick, exactly, John Starks at his heyday. If we're going to talk about nitpicking, who had the better? Who had the better players? Pop did more with less.
This is where I put Pop. I'm gonna take Red Auerbach out of it for a minute. Pop.
It's hard to argue Red.
Larry Brown, Pop, Pat Riley, and Phil. I'm taking Phil out of the mix because who was the guy that orchestrated the triangle offense? Was that
Tex
Phil?
Winners. Tex Winners.
Okay, Tex Winner. Mm-hmm. So that right there eliminates Phil for me. Well, Mike ran that team. Phil couldn't control Dennis Rodman. That's part of coaching.
Yeah.
Rodman, so which team reeled in his team for the benefit of the team, reeled in all the players? That was Greg Popovich. He's from a small market team, like Gio said. And then you knew the expectations, Rudy, because you're here in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. Certain guys didn't fit the mold. And if you didn't fit the mold, you were not going to be here. Whether Tim wanted you here, whether Dave wanted you here. Pop and R.C. Buford had control of this team for the betterment of the organization. And sometimes Pat Riley, Pat didn't have to say a whole lot. Pat was more concerned about how he looked on the sidelines with the suits and the slicked hair. He didn't have to say anything. He didn't invent Showtime. Magic Johnson did. So I don't give Pat credit for that when you got a guy where you don't have to say much. You just sit over there and let Magic run the show. And who did Kareem? If you can run up and jump in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's arms after your first pro game and you give him a big old hug and all that, that's Magic Johnson. Who's the guy when Kareem got hurt in the playoffs against Philadelphia? When he played all those positions, 42 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists. That's Magic Johnson. Pat didn't have to do a lot. And then you come to San Antonio. He had to blend. First of all, he gave the keys to Tony Parker at 19 years old, right?
Okay.
He had to reel in Manu, because when Manu first got here, we didn't know what he was going to do. He might throw it around your back. He might throw it through your legs. All of that is when he came in. He was an unpolished guy with a lot of skills. Steven Jackson got here. We know about his behavior. And then he brought in guys like Kevin Willis and Speedy Claxton. and he made everyone, including Tim, they all conformed for what was best for the team. Even when they brought in guys like Terry Porter, Pop had to actually coach, and he had to get everybody to buy in. Rodman wasn't the same guy in San Antonio with Pop that he was when he was over there in Chicago and when he was in Detroit with Chuck Daly when he had the rifle out in his hand in his car outside the Silverdome. Pop got all these guys to do it. And you know where I give him the edge, Gio? You know, Pop is a worldly guy, as you know, right? So he took more time with his players than those other guys took. Phil didn't have a relationship with those guys off the court. Pat Riley didn't have a relationship with those guys off the court. Pop had a relationship with those guys. And to me, those are a part of all the intangibles that make you a close-knit team. That's why I get Pop the edge.
And I have to kudos to Derek there. And I know the Drew Show had mentioned about small market curve. I think when you're grading these guys, you got to throw everything in the basket. You have to talk about the market size. You got to talk about the players that were able to coach. Well, one thing I'll say about Phil, and we could say Jordan ran the team and all that, but that doc that I saw, The Last Dance, I didn't know that Phil could obviously manage, but Phil was, I think, one of the best at managing those high character, or not high character, but those high personality guys and really managing those egos. Yeah, Phil wasn't necessarily always coaching, but Phil had 2 3-peats. 2 3 no. 3.
Yeah, with the Lakers.
3 3-peats and then 2 with Kobe. I think we got to give Phil some love there because, yeah, he had Michael Jordan, who I think is the GOAT. But, man, 2 3-peats or 3 3-peats, and he had one with Shaq and Kobe. And those 2001 Lakers, or those 2000 Lakers, Derek, as a Spurs fan, it was painful to watch because the Spurs had literally no answer for those two, especially Kobe.
You got Kobe and Shaq. Spurs didn't have anybody that dominant. Dave was gone. You got Shaq and you got Kobe on the same team. You got possible 2 top 10 guys. That didn't take a lot of coaching. And then if you look at it, where was Phil when Shaq and Kobe were having their issues that end up breaking up that team?
Jeannie's bed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We've been okay. That's all.
We're being honest, right?
Well, we're just being honest. So he didn't handle the Shaq and Kobe situation very well, and then he ended up writing a book, right, where he kind of bashed Kobe.
That is true.
So he couldn't have. Yeah, you didn't have that kind of stuff going on with Pop. When he told Vern Maxwell, what did he tell Vern? Stay out the nightclubs, right?
Yeah.
When Vern didn't stay out the nightclub, what happened?
Gone.
And that brings other players together. That's all I'm saying. It wasn't just the coaching on the floor. It's all the little elements around it. And that's all part of coaching. And for me, I get Pop. Phil is a great one. All the guys we mentioned are superior coaches.
Oh, yeah.
But if you talk who did more with less?
That's what I'm looking at.
That's where I say Pop, because the small market. Who wanted to play here, Rudy? Who wanted to play here?
Whoever got drafted wanted to play here, basically.
Nobody was knocking down the door to come to San Antonio. So Pop had to take the hand that he was dealt.
You know, the reason why, why I said it before we started talking about this. I said he makes a good point. I won't argue all night with the fact that he has Pat Riley that high. I won't argue with it because I can understand where he's coming from. Because then you throw everything else. Well, then you take Pop and you take Red out the picture because they've only coached one team. Whereas Pat, took the Lakers to the finals, even though, yes, it was Magic and Kareem in them. He still went to the finals with the Lakers. He took the Knicks to a finals appearance, and he also won a title with Miami.
I'm going to kill him, Gio.
3 different teams, though. But no, I'm just saying.
That's because the GOAT wasn't around.
Here's my question, though.
Okay.
Why did Pop and Red Auerbach only coach one team?
Well, it's hard to leave when you have Bill Russell and
nobody wanted him to leave.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Okay, Pat became to the point where they were like, well, if he wants to go, go. And so with Pop, they wanted Pop to stay here. Red Auerbach, I mean, he put together a team with that Bill Russell and Sam Jones and Casey Jones and all John Havlicek. They just had a winning tradition, the way they did things. Even today, who are teams emulating today? Is it the Lakers or is it the Spurs? Who did Golden State emulate the way they, from the front office on down? Who did they emulate?
I mean, Spurs-wise, yeah, but they're also playing Showtime style basketball. It's
Yeah,
not
they playing Showtime
fast breaking, but
I'm talking about as far as the organization and all that.
Well, everybody wants to be the Spurs.
And the expectations. Isn't that San Antonio?
Yeah, everybody wants to be the Spurs organization. I mean, you see Oklahoma City doing it.
Right now, you're looking at Boston. All those teams are trying to emulate who? The Spurs. Who did even Spoelstra? Who did he try to imitate? Gio? Wasn't it the Spurs? They do everything the right way.
Yeah.
Isn't that the game we're looking at now? They're trying to get players to play the right way. Isn't that the Spurs?
It's
how Boston won.
And to Drew's point that I just saw here, he said Pat Riley took an expansion franchise. So an expansion franchise in Miami. Wow, it's really hard to build something there. Who doesn't want to go to Miami?
It's still an expansion franchise, though. I mean, you're given 2 players per team to draft from. So I mean, I can see that. I mean, they weren't great right off the bat.
Yeah,
though.
Listen, they did go on a run with Alonzo Mourning in 97. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Hardaway, yeah.
But all I'm saying is this. Sure, Miami, but San Antonio, before Pop got there, and Pop was there also with Brown too, right? I think he kind of started as the assistant.
Well, he was under Don Nelson.
Don.
Oh, yeah. So, hey, I'm going to give some special consideration to Don.
Is Pat Riley a better coach than Chuck Daly? Larry Brown?
I think Larry's really good.
I like Larry because he did it both. He's the only coach to do it in NCAA and the NBA. So I do Chuck, like that.
To be able to keep a guy like Rasheed Wallace or even I go to Dennis Rodman and those guys to keep them. You saw a young Dennis Rodman. But when you were dealing with the situation with Adrian Dantley, Chuck Daly had to deal with a lot. And people, I would even put Chuck. I know he only has 2 rings. I shouldn't say 2, only 2. But I mean, Pat was a great coach. But when you're talking about the best, man, I can't give him that over Greg Popovich.
You know, it goes back to really, the top 10 conversation for players. It goes back to all this other stuff. Nobody is ever going to have the same opinion. It's hard to have the same list, the same rankings and all that. It's so damn hard to have stuff like that. And that's a reason why this is probably one of the best shows in town, because we don't just talk Spurs. We don't talk Cowboys. We don't talk the same mumbo jumbo shit every day. We talk about everything. And that's what we love about you fans out there. You bring up the topics, we're going to talk about them. You may agree with us. You may agree with us. If you don't, you don't. But at the end of the day, we're all sharing beers, man. He says no Magic ran off Riles, and the Knicks stupid owner didn't pay Riles. Miami gave Riles the bag and part ownership. Facts. I mean, he is saying that for sure on that. And apparently, Gio, man, your sarcasm doesn't make your position any better, man. Neither does that sweater you're wearing, but we'll let that go after this weekend.
It's not necessarily about sarcasm. It's the truth. You have to put all the factors. You have to nitpick here. And the size of the markets, the players, that all matters. Who's playing for these teams? Players make essentially a lot of times the coaches. If Jordan doesn't have, if Phil Jackson doesn't have Michael Jordan, are we talking about Phil Jackson, Derek?
I don't believe so, and I'm still not talking about him because of Texas winner. They didn't win until they went to the triangle.
Yeah. If Pat Riley doesn't have all those players, it's possible we never talk about Pat Riley at all. It's players that make these teams. The coaches does matter, obviously, in game situations, of course, right? And styles of play. But at the end of the day, you got to have players. It is.
We won with Avery Johnson. Yeah. And I'm going to give my friend a shout out. None of these guys were all-stars. Jaren Jackson.
Yeah.
Antonio Daniels.
Okay. Those other guys had all the media market. So you're going to attract all those players. We didn't have those players, and still Pop was able to build that into a unit, a winning unit that has won 5 NBA championships.
Should have been 6. And freaking Ray Allen.
5-1. We the closest thing to Michael Jordan. We take Bill Russell and Boston out. We the closest thing to the Bulls. One shot away from 6-0.
How are you going to take out Duncan on that play? You needed a rebound. How are you going to take him out the game?
18 rebounds, Gio.
Hey, you took him out the game. You took him out the game and you put Rudy in for a rebound. Come on.
Hey, I would have battled for that. In fact, I would have probably stepped on Ray Allen's foot not to let him get that shot off or something. I would have done everything I could have, wrapped him up or something. But, the thing too, man, if I ever apply to go to Spurs games to cover the games, I thought about it, but I live too far. I don't want to make that drive.
Gio just killed all this argument we've been talking all for the last 20, 30 minutes when he brought up the sitting Tim on the bench part. I'm giving Pop all this love.
I'm pretty sure Pat Riley has a moment in there. Listen, all
not
coaches,
not that bad.
Hey, if Manu and Kawhi hit their damn free throws, it doesn't matter about that rebound, Derek. It really doesn't matter. If you hit those free throws, but
if I end up going to cover a Spurs game and I'm thinking, I can make the drive to cover it, I'm gonna sit in that press conference. I'm gonna say, hey, Pop, Rudy Campos, Sweep the League. Got a question for you. Not about tonight's game. I know you lost. Don't worry about that game. Let's go to something way different here. One of our hosts on this show wants to know, can you kind of backtrack and explain why you sat Tim against Miami in the finals and 18 rebounds? And we just needed one board, but obviously Ray Allen got the shot off and the series changed. Can you go back to that time and explain yourself, please, again? Boy, I'm going to get ran out of the damn Frost Bank Center if I ever asked him that. But that would probably be my only question I could ever get in anyway. So,
and the Spurs, look at that. They beat LeBron James in the finals, who's supposedly some of these people's GOATs.
No, God. That's a whole different argument for other days, man.
Who made the better in-game adjustments, Rudy? That's your answer.
The better during that time?
No, between those coaches we talked about, Phil, Pat, and Pop. Who made the better in-game adjustments? That's what's got to be decided.
I mean, I would give Pop the credit on that one.
Well, we get on other coaches for not making in-game decisions. So at the end of the day, you can have all the script that you want to go over your game plan and all that, but sometimes it doesn't go that way. And who makes the best in-game adjustments? Other than that Tim Duncan situation, I would go Pop.
Yeah, and Tim's right. Pop would probably get me fired from doing the hosting of Sweep the League like Jerry Jones
Pop
did.
Not like that. Pop just want to go drink a glass of wine, man, and chill.
I would get banned from covering Spurs games if I asked him that question.
You think so?
I firmly believe I would get banned from covering Spurs games. I would get blackballed big times. Maybe I'll pay one of the guys that I know there, so I don't have to go drive down there just to waste my gas to ask him that question.
So. Rudy, so who is the best? Who was your opinion out of all those coaches, including Auerbach and Larry Brown? Who would be your top coach for yourself individually?
I would probably put Red 4, Phil 3, and to me it's interchangeable between Pop and Pat Riley. I'm okay with that. If you want to say Pat's higher, great. Pat's higher. I'm not going to argue that. Pop's higher. Pop's all the time winning his coach. He's higher. I'll give him that too. So, but for me, Red's going to be 4. Phil's going to be 3. And the reason why Phil's 3 is because I don't know if he wins that many titles in Chicago without Tex Winter. I really don't. I mean, it's hard to imagine if he wins, that many titles without that offense. I mean, they revolutionized, basketball for that time by inserting the triangle offense. I mean,
you're talking about revolutionize. So I didn't hear any of us mention Don Nelson.
No. I actually mentioned him, Derek.
I said mention him earlier.
Oh, you did?
I said honorable mention to
Don Nelson.
Don Nelson and that style of play, which once upon a time beat the number 1 seed in the Dallas Mavericks. Also, once upon a time, he was a 7th seed. Warriors upset 2 seed Spurs. I forgot what year that was. But another upset, his teams have always been fun to watch. But yeah, no, Don Nelson.
When was that? Because there was a year the Warriors and the Spurs played the playoffs, and I remember Paul Pressey was the starting point guard for the Spurs. I can't remember. I just know Run TMC.
Lost that year, huh?
Yeah, Run TMC just annihilated San Antonio in that series. If I remember.
I think it was it 90. Was it 93?
It might have been 90. Well, it was a year I think David was there. So probably, maybe 93, 90. Yeah, right around there, I think.
I think it's 93 because 94, I think, is Utah. 95 is the Rockets. Yeah, I think it's 93. In the playoffs.
Oh, okay. I'm like Utah.
Yeah. So I think it's 93. Don't quote me on it, but I'm sure that was the year they upset the Spurs. So, but yeah, no, I think Don is another
best coach of all time. I just gave y'all my answer, and I'm saying it in my mind. So that's the only answer you're gonna get from me.
Was it one of the top 4 we talked about?
I'm not saying it verbally because I don't know. Red, well, you can't just discount Red Auerbach, right?
Well, no, I'm not discounting him.
No, not you. I'm just saying in general.
No.
When we talk about the best ever, I would have, for me, it would be
Lenny
Red
Wilkins.
Auerbach.
Oh, Red Auerbach. I love Lenny Wilkins. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big Lenny Wilkins.
I just didn't, but for me, number 1 would be Red for me.
I mean, 8 straight. Yeah, I mean that's never gonna happen again. I mean, ever.
And
there's no way.
Well, maybe tennis, but that's more of individuals. But yeah, no, that team.
No, I'm talking in NBA wise. I mean, yeah, team sport wise. What's the next one? UConn women. I think won what? Was it 4?
Yeah, and then it'd probably be the Oakland A's baseball team. They won 3 in a row.
Did Pittsburgh Steelers win 4 in a row? Or no?
9 in a row. No.
Yeah, in a row.
Remember, the Oakland A's won 3 in a row with that Vida Blue and Blue Moon Oldham and Reggie Jackson, Catfish Hunter, Bill North, all those guys. I know you guys are young, but
I remember Catfish. Of course, Reggie.
Gene Tennis.
Raleigh Fingers wasn't on that,
74. Right?
Huh? Raleigh Fingers wasn't there, right?
Yes, he was.
He was. Raleigh Fingers was on the squad? Okay.
John Blue Moon Oldham, Vida Blue, yes.
So I would say, I mean, Red, 8 in a row would be, that's never going to happen. LeBron may have gone to 8 finals in a row, but he didn't win no 8.
Well, people try to say because of the era that they were playing in. But do people realize that Wilt Chamberlain was in that era?
Yeah, he was.
A lot of great players in that era.
Didn't Elgin Baylor go to, how many in a row did he go to?
Well, they lost most of theirs. He lost. Well, I know West lost 8. Jerry West went 1-8.
Yeah.
Just imagine going 1-8 in the NBA finals, man. Jeez.
I mean, could be 0-2 like Atlanta, and could be 0-4 like the Bills. I mean, that 4 straight that they went to.
Could be 4-6 like LeBron. I mean, you know I had to sneak that in.
Hey, Rudy, I want to give a quick shout out. I tagged you today on a post, and I don't think you may have saw it, but shout out to former Falcons head coach
Jerry Glanville. Yeah, I did see that.
He's still coaching, Rudy.
He's still coaching.
He's the defensive coordinator of Northwestern Oklahoma State. He's 83 years old, Rudy.
You showed that to me, and I couldn't believe it. He's right there.
He's wearing sunglasses, Rudy.
The man in black, man.
Jerry.
The man's wearing I saw this on TikTok. I said, "Well, this can't be true." I go look at the team page, and the man is wearing glasses. I love the look. That man loves football. To be coaching at 83 years old.
Hey,
wow.
Hey, Rudy, I talked to a guy today before we get off that I might try to get on the show soon. Don Harris.
Oh, yeah. News 4 WO.
Yeah, I talked to Don today. I told him about our show, but I didn't talk to him about being a guest. I'll be seeing him sometime next week, I believe. So I'm going to see if we can get him to come on to the show, and we can talk more about the coach, who's the best coach and all that, and some other things about the Spurs and the Spurs history.
Yeah, definitely. That would be kind of cool. Get local guy Don Harris on. Drew's in here. Before we go, little known fact, Pat Riley could have coached Baby Robinsons and the Spurs. Also, Hilliard's in here. Bill Russell. I think we're talking about Bill Russell with Red Auerbach. After resigning from the Lakers or whatever happened between him and Magic, Pat Riley and Chuck Daly both worked for NBC. They did sit down and interview with each other During the interview, Pat Riley said that the one team he would walk to coach and come back for was the San Antonio Spurs and David Robinson. Ended up going to the Knicks, and this person helped hiring Jerry Tarkanian. Oh God, the Tark wasn't even the Tark years. It was like the Tark month, if even that. So who knows how real he actually was, but on NBC he said he wanted to coach Robinson. Pat Riley with the Spurs as a coach under Robinson, that would have.
Pat will never get my vote as the best coach. I didn't tell you guys that the whole show.
Uh-oh.
He treated my brother. He cost my brother the MVP twice, Gio in the All-Star game.
Uh-oh. There it comes out there.
That's what it is, Derek. Let it all out.
You got to get it out now, Derek. Get it all out.
Look it up. He benched my brother twice. George still talks about it today.
So that's okay.
That's now what it is. Now we know what the history is.
We get
I still would have Red number 1. I would probably have Pat number 2 if it wasn't for that. But I would still have Red number 1. But I dropped Pat out of that number 2 slot for those 2 reasons.
We gotta do NFL next, and I think we're gonna get some interesting topics or individuals because as much as I like Bill Belichick, that recording cheating scandal, a little.
You're not cheating. You're not trying, Gio. Settle down.
What's that guy named Gio? Used to coach the 49ers.
Bill Walsh.
Yeah, let's have a conversation.
There are a lot of guys we could say.
Chuck Noll, Pittsburgh.
The best coach.
What's that?
That's a lot. That'll be a good conversation. Don Shula, you got so many of them.
Can't forget Marv Levy. I mean, he did a wonderful.
Well, I don't know about Marv, but
I mean,
hey, to get to 4
straight. I mean, that's
to Rudy's point.
Man, come on.
To Rudy's point, 4 straight Super Bowls. Sure, the AFC was not nearly close to the NFC because
one of those they beat the Oilers, man, and they were down bad.
Down bad.
You would be at Al-Anon even today if you went to 4 in a row and you didn't win one of them.
Oh, listen, if I'm a Rams fan and we go 4 in a row, you won't see me.
You got to win one.
I'm not appearing on TV
for the best coach.
In this day and age on social media, Rudy, the Rams, if they lost 4 straight Super Bowls, that roast is going to be so bad on social media. I can only imagine. The Bills are lucky, Derek. They're lucky. Because if they're in today's NFL and today's social media, mental health would be a big issue because I don't care what people say, losing 4 straight Super Bowls, it is a burden, and those players still have to walk.
We got to factor in the field goal kicker a little bit, too.
The field goal kicker, Washington blew them out of the – Washington was probably the – if you talk about the best team they played, obviously Cowboys are really good, but that Washington team ran –
that was massive. Was Rippon was the quarterback? Art Monk.
Yeah. Yep.
God, I can't even remember.
What's my man's? John Riggins.
Yeah.
Was Samuel a receiver there? I think there was a Samuel, if I can't mistaken. I just know that Martin Monk was the main receiver there. Was it Ernest Biner?
No, Biner was in Cleveland, I believe, at that time.
Also, Derek, they beat your Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship game, 41-10.
I'm happy. That's close as we've been to a Super Bowl in 57 years. So
you know what's not good about Super Bowls is being up 28-3 and letting it all go in a quarter and a half.
You still hold it against the Falcons, huh?
Well, I was okay with Matty Ice going into the Ring of Honor. I was okay.
Are you though? Are you okay with that face going into the Ring of Honor?
I'm okay with Matty Ice going into the Ring of Honor. Let me turn off my camera as I say this.
Rudy, but why do you hold your mouth on him? He the one got him to 28-3. He didn't blow it. The defense blew it.
Hey, and who was the offensive? Wait, who was the offensive coordinator? Someone who's known for blowing leads. And Kyle Shanahan.
That's why I said, look, if you go back to every single tape where we talk about 28-3, I blame Shanahan. If I had a chance to kick Shanahan in the nuts, I would kick him in the nuts. I definitely would. But the one thing that I have on Matty Ice, and it's the only thing when it comes to that Super Bowl, is if you knew it wasn't working, the play calling. You're in the last game of the year. Win or lose, boom, we're done. Change the damn play call on your own. What are they going to do? Bench you in the Super Bowl for trying to win the game?
Now, come on. He's never been an improv type guy. That wasn't his game.
There's
I have
no
to
better
agree
way
on
to
Rudy
do it
on
in the
this.
Super Bowl.
I have to agree, Derek. You if something's not working, and he also had that bad fumble too, by the way.
He had
the
fumble. Now the interception.
I still don't know. So the Edelman catch, I still don't find that as a catch. But
so that to me was also another. It was just so many things happen, and you're watching the game, Derek, and you're just sitting there, and I had that gut feeling. I said, "This is not going to end well." As the game is going on.
I watched it. Hey, Rudy, did you see that about the Vikings?
Yeah, Drew Show brought up no.
What was that? Fran Tarkenton and Carl Eller and all those guys.
Yeah, they did lose 4 Super Bowls.
Alan Page and all,
You know, and I like
that.
that. We're gonna have to do an NFL coaching rankings because that's a really good one to bring up. I love that the Drew Show brought up that topic. It was a great topic to talk about as far as the Pat Riley coaching. Before we go, we do got to go. Hilliard's in here. What's the Lions defense going to look like next week? Well, if it's true, they're probably going to end up trading for Hendrickson for the Jets.
That's right.
So, I tell people every day, I still think Max Crosby's on the table. He's a Detroiter. I mean, even though the Raiders say, no, we're not trading Max Crosby. We don't care how many first-round picks that you give us. That normally is a sign that they are listening to offers for Max Crosby. When a team says that they're not doing it, they actually are doing it. So who knows? But they're gonna get somebody. They're gonna trade
50
for somebody.
points anyway. So,
Huh?
I said we're gonna put up 50 points anyway. So,
who are you playing this week?
Doesn't matter.
That is you. I love the confidence right there. It doesn't matter anymore, man.
Derek,
You look at that offense, man.
One thing about the NFL, I always tell Rudy this: it will find a way to humble you. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, that's true. After we win like two, like they found a way to humble Golden State. But by then we done took down 2 Super Bowls, 2024, 25, and 25-26. So they can adjust after we win these next 2. And who's going to be the MVP this year? A guy by the name of Jared Goff.
That would piss Gio off, knowing he's a former Ram.
Listen, the Rams got their Super Bowl. Listen, we got our Super Bowl, so Jared can do all he wants. And listen, I have no animosity against Jared. Jared Goff needs a running game and he needs protection. And so far he has that. But when Jared Goff doesn't have that, Jared Goff turns into what we saw against Tampa where he threw 4 interceptions. So I think they'll be fine. The 49ers right now, they look like they're okay. But right now the Lions are the best team.
So Jared Goff with a running game and a line is Jared Goff. But when he doesn't have a running game or a line, he's Ryan Gosling, is what we're saying. He's just an actor. Someone acting at the quarterback position, basically. That's the best way to put it, I guess. In the 70s.
I've seen every Jared Goff game with the Rams. That's basically when he doesn't have that going. And that's the thing for most quarterbacks. Not every quarterback's Lamar, right? Not every quarterback can run and improvise and do all that stuff and kind of run around. That's not Jared. But right now they're rolling, and I don't know what team in the NFC can beat them at this point because the Eagles got a bunch load of problems. The Packers,
they got a test this weekend. It's Minnesota.
Guys, you guys don't know that? Matt Stafford got one. Who did Matt Stafford get traded for?
Well, it was Jared.
It's destiny.
Not Jared from Subway, but Jared Goff from the St. Louis.
I'll see you guys in January. You'll be seeing me on the TV, hopefully waving at you guys. It's destiny. Rudy, you picked the Lions?
I picked them to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, they're my championship team this year.
Who did I have again? Because clearly I don't think I'm doing well.
What do you mean?
You picked the Jets, then I'm just
no. I didn't pick no. I picked the Bengals on the AFC side, which right now.
Well, yeah, I don't think any of us on the AFC are gonna come out on that one.
I think I had the Packers and the Bengals, which still can happen.
Are you guys giving up on Dan Orlovsky is still not giving up on the Jets or the Bengals?
Let's put it this way, with the Jets, I've got 1 foot out the door on the Jets already.
What about the Bengals? Aren't they 2-4?
The Bengals, I'm pretty much locking the door. I mean,
no,
that's just me. I've got the door closed. I just haven't locked it just yet.
And you got the Jets. You say you're basically done. So
no, the Jets.
You don't think they can win 9 out of the last 11?
Well, if you want me to answer Jets and Bengals, I believe more in the Jets than I do the Bengals.
You do?
Yeah, I do. And
is that because of
strictly defense?
Devontae?
Devontae doesn't move the needle for me that much. I think it's strictly defense. If I look at defensively, I think the Jets defense to me is a little bit better than the Bengals. So I would take the Jets. Between the Jets and Bengals, I have more faith in the Jets than I do the Bengals. So that's just for me right there. Yeah, they got Devontae Adams en route. And,
no, he's already there.
Yeah, he's there. He's already there. He's back. He's supposed to be playing this weekend, actually. So
Aaron Rodgers gets everything he wants.
We know.
They already showed him standing behind
Pat McAfee.
Yeah, I saw that.
So what we'll do is tomorrow being Thursday. Normally we do our NFL picks on Friday and our NCAA picks. We're gonna move that show to tomorrow. So we're gonna do our picks tomorrow. NFL, NCAA. We'll go through the top 25. We'll go through all NFL games tomorrow as well. Make our picks. Friday night is Derek's night. So I unfortunately can't have him miss the Hall of Fame just to do Sweep the League. So he's gonna enjoy his Hall of Fame dinner. I'll be here on Friday night. I was gonna actually go to Derek's Hall of Fame dinner. We were gonna make the call, but family stuff happened. Nothing bad, I promise, guys. Family stuff happened, so we're able to make it. We got to get ready for next week on something. So we'll decide on we're gonna take the night off on Friday for Derek. But if we don't, we'll be on here.
It's only $100, man. If somebody wants to show up,
yeah, I can give you the ticket information. I can drop it on social media for you guys out there. But we're still trying. We're still trying to make it out there on Friday night. Hopefully, we're able to get everything ready to where we can make it. But tomorrow we'll do our picks. Derek will be on tomorrow. Gio will be on tomorrow. We'll do all of our picks tomorrow. And then we roll out the red carpet on Friday night for Derek as he goes into UTSA Hall of Fame. And Tim has the over-under at 10 minutes, Derek, on when you cry.
Oh,
so
for that maybe 10 minutes, but my speech will be under.
1 minute.
He's saying one. I hear in the background saying 1 minute. So we're gonna have our prop bets, our Hall of Fame prop bets tomorrow for Derek Gervin on his Hall of Fame induction on Friday night. So until we get him back tomorrow for Hall of Famer Derek Gervin, for Coach Gio, this is Rudy Campos Jr. Until we sweep the league again, remember, go get your interception cologne from Dak Prescott. We'll see you later, knuckleheads.
Everybody have a good night.
Yeah. Number 30, Derek Gervin, do you feel the weight? Reppin' UTSA legacy that we create. Didn't rise alone, now it's bigger than me. The whole fam roll, run the blood running deep. I wear that 30 for the squad, for the dreamers. Running uphill, but faith kept us believers. Gotta grind every minute, every play, it's a test. Chasing dreams, but success demands your very best. Dreams do come true, but they never come free. Every day the risk too, gotta hustle to beat. The only thing that stopped me, the man in the mirror, still repping number 30, UTSA division.
Are you a hockey fan looking for the latest on the Edmonton Oilers, Pittsburgh Penguins, and NHL news of the week? Barry and Carson Best bring it all to you on the Best Boys Center Ice podcast. They break down games, provide insider updates, and keep you up to speed every week. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and join their hockey.
Prescott Cologne for those nights when you don't want to score, just go night night. But we them boys are still America's team. Close your eyes and make a wish, just spray some INT. INT signature, yeah. We got that INT signature. But this is a parody. This song isn't for sale. It's for Sweep the League. INT. For the ones who doubted, now we showing the proof. Came from the struggle, we live in the truth.
STL Music.
Yeah, challenges come, but we here to stay. Built from the dirt, now we paved it the way. Had a bad day, but this life ain't bad. We build a legacy, yeah, they know the name. STL Music, this a movement, not just a claim. Loyalty, respect, that's the code we honor. In the face